Hey guys, it's your favorite gold miner, prospector, and geologist, Jeff Williams, and today I got something special for you. What's better than one geologist? Two geologists! Ha ha ha! I got Alex here. He's gonna tell you a background story on some of these mines and some of the geology. So I'm gonna let him take away because you know me, I'm a talker, and I'll just talk my booty off. Sorry about that.
My name's Alex, and love the history of the Comstock region, love the geology of the region. Really remarkable epithermal deposit. There's nothing like it on Earth as far as epithermal vein systems. And where we're at today is the north end of the Silver City mines, which is slightly different from the rest of the Comstock. It's actually a north 35 west trending fault zone, whereas the Comstock's more of a north-south to slightly northeast fault zone. And right where we're standing is at the Justice Mine, which produced roughly $3 to $4 million in gold and silver. Wow. From the early 1860s through the early 1920s.
Nice, nice.
And then there's buildings also out on the other side of the road.
When he's talking about North 35 or North 50, these are magic numbers for Nevada, isn't that correct?
That is correct. So in ore deposits, structural intersections are highly important for gold and silver deposition. But there's a certain trend in Nevada that crosses just about all the large gold mining districts in the state. And that trend is the North 50 East fault structures. When you put your compass on it, if you're pointing north, it's the 50 degrees east that you're looking at these structures. And they're maybe within a couple degrees of that North 50, but they all fall in suit with that. North 35 West is common. You see a lot of the mountain range faults tend to be North 35 West,
right?
But also a lot of the veins in some of these gold districts are North 35 West as well.
Where you have these intersections of these structures, oh, the concentrations can be just mind-boggling.
Well, and what's interesting here at the Woodville and Justice mining area is the Justice Mine was mining on a North 35 West vein. They called it the Black Vein because it had tremendous amounts of manganese oxide associated with the ore.
Which we've seen plenty of that.
And then just down and on the other side of the road is the Woodville Mine. And they were mining on what is called the White Vein. It's a very sugary, sacroidal white quartz.
Nice.
And that vein trends North 50 East.
There it is again, the magic number.
Within the Comstock fault, or the Silver City fault zone, I should say, the North 50 East that crosses through and makes up the Woodville cuts through the Silver City fault zone, which the Justice was mining on.
Wow.
And so both these mines are mining these two separate veins, but where they kind of came together, there was a tremendous ore body, and they were in dispute during the 1870s over this ore body because one was claiming apex rights on the North 50 East, one was claiming apex rights on the North 35 West structure, which would have been the Justice.
Right.
And the Justice was a larger mine, had a lot more money, and they started really not playing nice with each other.
Can't imagine that, huh?
The miners union actually stepped in and made these two mines shut down until they could get everything figured out.
Wow.
During the year of 1874. In October, they were allowed to resume mining their prospective mines. They thought they had it figured out.
Yeah, they thought. Surprise.
They thought.
Gold fever, my brother.
So on October 4th, 1874, 5 miners from the Justice Mine walked down to the Woodville Mine just down there, armed.
Wow.
With the intentions of killing these guys because it really wasn't resolved.
Of course not.
The mine superintendent from the Justice Mine was with the sheriff of Gold Hill, and they were walking up towards Gold Hill. These 5 miners that are armed went and arrived at the Woodville Mine. The miners from the Woodville noticed that they were armed, so they armed themselves and went and took refuge inside a building, which is obviously no longer there.
Right, yeah, everything's gone.
But with them being inside the building,
yeah, they were protected.
They were
undercover.
protected, and they mowed down these 5 guys from the Justice Mine.
Oh no.
And so 5 men lost their lives, and during the heated gun exchange, the superintendent came running down and waved a flag of parley to go into the building of the Woodville miners to try to resolve this.
Wow.
And unfortunately, as they opened the door, one of the miners from the Woodville stuck a gun in his gut and shot him.
But he survived, right?
He survived
nice.
the horrible gut wound.
Ooh, which most of the time you don't.
But anyways, it turned into a big court case.
Yeah.
The men that were at the Woodville were arrested and tried.
Right.
I don't fully know the outcomes of all that, but it just shows what kind of lengths people can go to for gold.
Yeah, and that's gold fever. And I've always told you that it's real. I've seen it firsthand. People fighting each other, brother against brother, family against family. Ooh, that gold gets a hold of you and it messes with you. But we're gonna go around. He's gonna tell you more stories. I'm really interested if you wanna share some insight on a very unusual mineral, which I know you guys have never heard of, called Hermite.
Yeah.
It looks like cinnabar when you look at it, but it's not. And it's an indicator mineral for gold deposits. And you can find it on most of the gold that you find in Nevada, is that correct?
We have seen it from several mining districts, especially epithermal deposits, and it's an antimony oxysulfide. And we commonly see it associated with high-grade gold.
Can you do geochem tests to determine if this is actually what you're looking at and not some other mineral like cinnabar or stibnite or something like that?
Absolutely. Stibnite would be difficult because they both show up as an antimony marker. But if we're seeing a red mineral and we're seeing elevated antimony, then that's a pretty good indicator that what we're looking at is Hermite. The Wahi Pool in New Zealand that is known to precipitate gold at the surface of the hot spring, there's a red precipitate all around where the gold's precipitated. Right. And that is Hermite as well.
Oh, wow, see?
Important mineral.
You learn something new every day, didn't you? So you better smash that like button, smash it hard!
So this mine, it's not hosted in the gouge, it's more of a comb quartz.
Right.
That the gold is hosted in. I mean, the quartz vein looks good.
Right, but you're saying nothing.
Yeah, we've taken samples of it, and it's just like, you know, quarter ounce. Woo, not very exciting.
Right.
And just because the vein looks good doesn't necessarily mean the grade's that great.
And look, the vein pinches right here.
It does.
See that?
Yep. It pinches and then it opens back up.
Swells again.
And then further up here, we'll get into the stopes.
Nice.
And that's where they got the from recorded, it was $150,000 worth of gold. I think it was more than that.
Wow.
Here's a stope.
Oh yeah, cut and fill.
Yep.
Cut and fill, baby.
Old railroad ties for.
Oh yeah, for your lagging.
Yeah. Well, and for the stalls.
Yeah, exactly.
This
oh, yeah.
sketches me out because these are.
It sketches me out.
These guys, somewhere there's like, oh yeah, they're only like 1/2 inch.
Oh, and look at that.
Boards.
See where it's rotted?
Yeah.
So where that stall is right there, the water's been coming down and slowly rotting it away.
And this wood here is just tongue and groove.
Oh,
boards.
yeah, it's paper thin.
And it's holding up.
Holy, yeah, look at that right there.
Holding up all that. It's kind of sketch.
And I didn't bring my hard hat.
Yeah.
Oh, and look at what they were using. Instead of rail, they were using strap rail.
Flat strap on one.
Yeah. Yeah.
This looks a little better because they've got larger pieces.
Right. Yeah, it's not so rotten.
And here was their chute.
Oh yeah. Oh, the chute's empty. Wow, that is a steep chute.
It is.
Holy cow. You fall down that and man, you're not gonna walk that off.
Headache. And guess what direction we're going?
What direction are we going there, Alex?
Actually, we're at the intersection of a North 50 and a North 70.
Wow.
But here's another little.
Oh yeah, right here.
Stove. Ooh, this is filling in a lot more.
Nice. Look at that. Look at that. Nice little shear zones.
Yep. And then the stoping continues that way.
Wow.
If you want to look down there.
Yeah, let me take a peek.
Yeah. I've gone down there.
Right.
In fact, the owner of the mine took a carbide light and wrote his name a little bit further down on the left.
Oh, there's a winds in the floor.
Yep. Goes down about 30 feet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, somebody got brave and was chasing that up.
Yep.
I want to say no to that one.
And they stoped it to the surface.
Right.
In places. One of the things that is helped me with compiling stuff for my book.
Right.
Is there were multi-generational guys still alive. and I would talk with them and get their stories. In this particular mine, they hit a pocket, and the main owners, it was co-owned, and the husband and his wife that co-owned it decided they'd do a kind of a world tour, or they went to San Francisco, went to some other places to get out of the desert Nevada, and they came back and all the ore was gone.
Oh.
And their partner said, I don't know what happened to it.
Of course not.
And a few years later, their daughter saw him in someone's yard milling ore with a small mortar and pestle that looked just like the ore from here.
You can't imagine what happened.
Yeah, gee. Huh.
Oh,
It wasn't me. I don't know who took it while you guys were gone.
Yep.
But and you see all the old pick marks.
Yeah, I love seeing that.
Yeah, but this was a pretty neat mine. It produced 150. So they say 150,000. I believe they produced more than that.
Yeah, exactly. Alpha, what you just told me.
That's what's on the books.
Right.
So especially when I see stopes the size of these,
Yeah.
it's like they produce more than that.
Exactly.
So
Nice.
They had some grades as high as like 800 ounces per ton.
Wow.
Yeah.
800 ounce?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, like the Oast, 2,000 ounce
Yeah.
rock. Yeah, so this hill right in front of us is where the Oast was.
Oh.
And the Oast produced over 1.5 million ounces of gold.
Wow.
And yeah, it's pretty impressive. But they hit a stope in there that ran like 2,000 ounces per ton.
Wow.
And in fact, I believe it was the World's Fair in 1890 or 1896, they had an area where you would win ribbons for gold ore specimens.
Right.
And the Oast specimen won the blue ribbon for having the best looking gold ore. It was a piece of kind of large comb quartz with large wires of gold going through it.
So where exactly is the mine? Because I see several large mine dumps down there.
So you can kind of see this little hump in the dump.
Yeah.
And so come over, and right in there was where the shaft was.
Oh yeah, where all that mine dump is right there.
That's all been overgrown.
Yeah.
So that is their dump. And then going into the hill is the Comet mine, which the Oast eventually consolidated with.
Right.
And they mined all through there, but there's a zone that is unmined there that's over 150 feet wide.
Wow.
And someone could probably go through that 150 foot wide that probably runs, 0.1, 0.08, but they know what they're looking at, can find those little high grade stringers.
Yeah.
And probably still get some 1 ounce stuff.
We checked a lot of those mine dumps.
Yep.
And you can see where they had their little tiny high grade piles of quartz stringers sitting out on the dumps. And that stuff is very soft. There's actually a couple of areas where the stopes have collapsed and there's just sinkholes where you can fall into.
There's a few that don't have fences around them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then on the other side of the hill is the Lanzac mine, which it produced almost 500,000 in gold as well.
Wow, at $20 an ounce.
At $20 an ounce.
Imagine if you just took the whole hill.
Yeah, I think it's worth it.
I think it's worth it too. Do you guys think it's worth it too? Leave me a comment down below. Have you sampled this one?
I have sampled a little bit of this back when Art Wilson owned it. And this actually has some grade to it, especially along the hanging wall side. But this section right here is the Buckeye Vein.
Nice.
And as you can see, there is a lot of fault breccia.
Yep.
There's a little bit of gouge mixed in there.
Yeah, a little bit of gouge.
But it's mostly fault breccia, and you can just see this thing has just been crushed and moved so much.
Yeah, you can actually see all the different episodes. So you're saying over here on the hanging wall is where your highest grade is.
Yep. Especially like if you look up there at the top under that hanging rock, you see that red.
Exactly.
So that'd be the really good stuff.
Wow. Does this belong to somebody?
Yes, it's currently under ownership. It's a patent.
No. Yeah, that's the place to sample.
Yeah.
Right up in there.
Yeah. So that's the hanging wall, and that would be where the goodies are.
Oh my goodness. That's why I always tell you guys to sample your road cuts. These are the easiest ones to find because they've done the work for you. Just be careful when you park and you won't get hit, and that doesn't belong to somebody, okay? But yeah, I mean, this is a no-brainer. I remember when I first drove up here and saw this, I said, pull over, I gotta sample that thing.
There's a way to look at these veins and high grade them out to get the highest grade gold out of the system, and just over time you develop the eye to notice where the best grades will be, and you can eliminate half the vein or 3/4 of the vein and just take the stuff that is great, and that greatly enriches what you bring home.
Yeah, so you're not bringing home a bunch of waste rock.
Right. And then right here, you can see
it's a no-brainer.
Right there.
See that? Fault gouge?
Yep.
And you can see the stringers. Yeah, there's the stringers. And you can see the seam go all the way up. And then if you were on the surface, there'd be hardly anything up there.
Yeah, you wouldn't even notice it, but then they put this road cut in.
And it made it obvious.
Made it real obvious. So you know that head frame at the Collar Mine they have on display? That was the Buckeye head frame.
Oh, no way.
Yep, it was going to get torn down. So the original owner of the Collar Mine took it apart and moved it up to the collar.
Nice.
Between 1870 and the early 1900s, produced about $1.5 million, $2 million in gold at $20 an ounce.
Wow.
The average grade was 3/4 ounce per ton.
Nice.
Yeah. So a lot of these mines in Silver City had to have really good grades. Milling costs were about $4
wow, and that
per
was high
ton
back then.
That was high back then. So they needed at least 1/2 ounce per ton to make it.
Right. And that is why there's so much good gold still left on the mine dumps, because 1/2 ounce and below they didn't care about, but you and I, we care about it because gold's at $3,300 an ounce. That's why.
So wherever you had these quartz porphyry intrusions into the andesite, you had pretty good mineralization in the fractures of the andesite.
Yeah, because it would migrate from here into the fractures.
Yep.
Via hydrothermal fluids.
Yep. But also some of the gold remained within the quartz porphyry itself.
Right, so it was worth mining.
It was worth mining as well.
Are we still talking 70-30 or?
It's probably 60-40.
Got it.
And then further over in the canyon was the Milwaukee Mine.
Right.
And on the old mine maps, it shows a stope that all it says is very high grade. They didn't even say any numbers. I mean, they mentioned the 1 ounce to 7 ounces in the Ida, and they mentioned the 1 ounce stuff in the rest of the Milwaukee stopes.
Right.
But there's a pocket in there that on the map, written by the geologist, says very high grade.
I wonder what that translates into.
I imagine it's probably 20 plus.
That's what I was thinking, 20 ounce per ton.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it have been easier to drive and add it in from the bottom instead of dropping a shaft in from the top?
Well, they actually had a shaft down at the bottom as well.
Oh, down in the wash.
Down in that wash, there was I have an old photo that shows the head frame down there in the wash, and there was never an adit there, which to me never really made sense.
No, I don't get it.
And there was a company that actually gave thought to reopening this and mining it. They drilled it a few years ago, and my thought is to drive a decline from right there,
right over there,
of the ravine, and just come in and follow those stopes and find what was left behind.
Exactly.
It'd be cheaper than rehabbing a shaft.
So for you guys out there that don't know, fault gouge is the remnants of a fault that's shifting back and forth. It creates fault breccia or brecciation, and if it keeps doing that, grinds it into a paste, which is fault gouge.
Yeah, that is correct.
And so a lot of times you can find high-grade gold in either the fault breccia or the gouge. So I want you guys to remember that when you're sampling some of these hard rock mines, it doesn't have to necessarily be in the vein. Sometimes that vein might be barren, but it's in the broken rock or the pasty clay stuff that you find on the outer edges on the footwall and the hanging wall.
Okay, I'll show you a spot
where
there's plenty of quartz laying on the dump, but that's not what they wanted. They wanted the gouge.
Yeah, but we're not gonna do anything until you smash that like button. Smash it hard! Oh, you're supposed to say smash it hard.
Smash it hard!
Okay, let's go check it out.
Gosh. We're at the South Comstock Mine. It's also been called the Twin Mine.
Okay.
This particular hole we're standing next to was a stope that had not breached the surface. And in the late 20s, at the end of the shift, this was the area where they parked their vehicle, their haulage truck, and they had some other equipment over here.
Wow.
They left at the end of shift. They came back the next day to a great big hole, and their haulage truck was down 80 feet in.
Is it still in there?
I believe it still is.
No way! We should go down and get it. That's so cool. And of course, all this stuff is sloughed off. And
yeah, it's filled it in.
And then I guess you said that the people who live here used it as a dump.
Well,
what's a dump?
Yeah, unfortunately, some people try to throw their trash in there.
Oh, what a waste. What's the strike?
It's a North 50 East.
It's a North 50 East strike. There's those numbers I'm trying to tell you people. This is how you find deposits.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to what the structures are doing in your general area.
Exactly.
So
yeah, you could overlay that over onto known mining districts, and then you could literally interpret where there might be more.
absolutely. Nice quartz crystals over here.
Is that Stockworks?
Yes.
Nice.
It is Stockworks.
So, do you know what the grade was?
I actually do have an idea on some of the grades. Give me a second. So they had several times they had extracted some pretty high grade stuff, as high as 96, no, I apologize, $96 per ton, which is at the early
That's
rates.
almost 5 ounces per ton.
Yeah, pretty good stuff.
Wow, that's pretty high grade.
Yeah. And
You
that
know
was
the-
actually mined to the 400-foot level, where they hit a high grade pocket that had coarse visible gold in the ore.
Nice. Do you know what the ratios are?
I believe it's a 1-to-1 gold-silver ratio.
Wow. So that's a pale, ugly looking gold.
It is. And this particular mine produced $500,000 in gold at the old
$20
price,
an ounce.
At $20 an ounce.
Nice. I got 3 chutes. 1, 2, that one looks like it's been blocked off, and 3. Why are there 3 chutes?
Because they put separate grades into the separate chutes.
Yeah, I see a grizzly up there too.
Yep, they had fines, they had coarse.
Nice. So if you follow the strike, you said there's 2 parallel veins here.
Yep.
That means that maybe it goes off this way under that.
And you can see another set of workings.
Yeah, where they tried to tap into it way over
right
there.
over there. It's the same structure.
Wow.
And
So
it
these
looks
people,
like the dip of that structure is probably about 70, 80 degrees.
yes, which is typical.
Which is pretty typical.
Nice. I wonder if you screened these, if you could get any free mill out of it.
I believe that you could.
I know it's windy, just bear with me.
I know there was one report that said between the 300 and 400 foot level, they hit a pocket that was 21 ounces per ton.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty hot stuff.
Nice. Are we talking 70-30?
Probably so.
Nice. Now, when you hear numbers like 70-30, 80-20, that's the ratio between gold and silver. Because most of the gold mines in Nevada, especially in your epithermals, they have what's called electrum gold, which is a high percentage of silver alloyed with the gold. And you know that. But so I want you guys out there to know when we say 70-30, that's 70% gold, 30% silver. And that's important because when you're mining, you want that number, the first number, as high as possible. Because if you got more silver in than with your gold, then it's a silver mine, and you have to calculate that in with your costs. If you look up at the chute on that head frame, because you've got an incline here, a lot of times to divide where the ore goes, they'll have a divider plate, and it can go this way for the ore to slide this way or this way. The yellow jacket, the new yellow jacket, has the same thing where it pivots left or right to go down different chutes for different grades of ore. But you can see there's a plate up there, and if I had to guess, it can flop up this way when they dump and it goes down those chutes, or it lays down and then the ore comes down this chute. It's really simple, and I've seen it in a lot of mines too. And that's how you can differentiate your ore. Pretty simple.
Oh no, you okay?
Sweetie, you okay?
Yeah,
You alright?
What happened?
I'm wearing my tennis.
Let me see.
You alright?
You all right?
Yeah, I was filming and looking at that because I forgot to lock the...
Don't forget, at the end of this month, we're giving away 10 bags of pay dirt, super rich from our drift mine, and each bag of pay dirt comes with a silver bar, 1 ounce, 1 Gold Monster 1000 metal detector, and this month we're giving away 20 pounds of extremely rich pay dirt, with 2 monster nuggets we found in the drift mine. You really want to get involved with that. I wanted to thank Alex for helping me. I know you're saying, Jeff, how do I get my hands on that stuff? Just keep your pants on. The banjo's not ready. So anyway, thank you so much for coming out, helping us explore some of this area, teaching us more geology, because remember, geology is the key to finding gold deposits.
Absolutely.
And if you want to get your hands on all that gold and pay dirt and metal detector, just click this little link right here, and we'll see you on the next video. Hey, what am I going to say? So come on, let's go!